What's doing, everybody? Today is Wednesday, November 6th. Donald Trump is going back to the White House as the 47th president of the United States. My comments, my reaction coming up. I'm Alec Lace. This is the Alec Lace Show.
The American family is under attack. Parents are the underdog of this nation. Your children are being indoctrinated. That's right. Your children. They do not belong to the state. They do not belong to the school system. They belong to you, the parents, as a blessing from God our Father. So let's preserve, protect, and fight for the American family together. You're listening to the Alec Lace Show. The future is family.
All right, welcome everybody to the Alec Lace Show. I'm happy and honored as always to be here with you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And man, does the victory taste sweet today or what? President Donald Trump in a landslide last night crushed Kamala Harris and the regime, and he will be the 47th president of the United States. So many people worked so hard to get President Donald Trump in there, but let's be honest. What was going on in this country was the biggest reason why Donald Trump has been elected again. So there's a lot. I'm not going to hit you guys with a very long episode today. I just want to give you my thoughts. I know a lot of you guys are celebrating today, tuning into all these different shows. Everyone's going to be giving you coverage. I'm just going to offer you my thoughts and my opinions. And the first one of those being is that the mainstream media really truly believed that a stand-up comedian telling a joke about Puerto Rico was going to be enough to nullify the fact that the U.S. economy is shot. That people, that Latinos, Puerto Ricans can't afford groceries, that the gas prices were too high, that the illegal immigration, and the illegal immigrants that were stinking up their resources in their cities. They thought that a comedian's joke was going to be enough to overshadow all of that. It turns out that's just white liberal women who were upset about that. And they think that, like, oh, the Puerto Ricans should be upset. Well, it turns out the Latinos came out in droves for President Donald Trump. And you know who else came out in droves for President Donald Trump? African-American voters showed up big for Donald Trump because they're sick and tired of what they are seeing take place in our country. And it's not, so this whole Trump is a racist narrative goes out the window. You can't play that card anymore. You can't use that anymore because Donald Trump got historical support from Black Americans and Hispanic Americans. And you know what else? You can't call him a Nazi or Hitler anymore either because he got overwhelming support from the Jewish voters, particularly in New York City. So all of that stuff, all that rhetoric that they tried to paint, nobody cares about all that. Their messaging is tone deaf. No one fell for it because, like I said, the biggest threat that they had was reality. We, the American people, live in reality. And when we all have to go to the grocery store at least once a week, and when we go there, we say, I don't want it to be like this anymore, right? And of course, the other thing was the immigration, the illegal immigrants. And if you are in this country illegally, pack your bags, pack your shit. You're going home. We're closing the border, and we got to redo this entire process. If you want to come in, you wait in line, you wait your turn, and then we play ball. But not now. And you know, I want to make this point here too, because, and I want to be careful how I say this, because in a lot of ways, I think it was a blessing in disguise of what happened in 2020 with the election that was stolen from Donald Trump. And I say I want to be careful with that is because a lot of lives were lost because of that. I mean, how many angel parents do we have in this country right now who have lost a child or a loved one to these illegal immigrants that have been just stormed across our border over the last 4 years? How many people have lost their jobs, their livelihoods, their homes? So I don't want to say out of the side of my mouth, oh, this is a blessing and good thing that happened to the people. I say it's a blessing in disguise in the sense that it allowed us to see what the left was going to do when they got in office and they had the power. And we got a chance to see them in control. And it woke a lot of people up in this country to say, wait a second here. And it gave people a chance to see and compare when Donald Trump was in there versus when we had a Democrat in there. So I think that gave people a lot of opportunity to see, almost like when the pandemic happened. The blessing in disguise was a lot of people got to see what was going on in the school system. They got a chance to see what their kids were learning. And so a lot of parents decided to homeschool their kids. So there was a silver lining in there. And so I would say maybe not the blessing, but maybe the silver lining in the fact that Trump had the election stolen from him was that people had a chance to compare these two. And we lived under this Democrat policies for the last 4 years. And you know what? They don't work. The Democrat policies don't work. They have a losing strategy, and that is what cost them the election. And again, you look at the popular vote goes to Donald Trump, and that is huge because that sends a big signal to not only just the left-wing lunatics, to the mainstream media, but also to the deep state. It sends a strong message to these bureaucrats that are in Washington, D.C. It sends a strong message that the people have spoken, and we want control of our government again. We are tired of the government running our lives. We don't want this big government anymore. We don't want to be taxed into oblivion. And yes, you know who else delivered for President Donald Trump? The American family. The parents in this country stood up and made their voices heard yesterday because we are tired of what you are doing to our children. The left-wing media makes it sound like everybody's down with this puberty blockers and sex changes for children and all this stuff. The overwhelming majority of people do not want this. If we want you to leave our children alone when it comes to the conversations of sex, leave them out of it. We don't want your pornography books in our school systems. We don't want it. We say no. And the parents in this country got off the couch and got to the ballot box yesterday for President Donald Trump because enough is enough. And especially if you're a dad of a little girl like I am, you don't want your daughter to have to share a locker room with a man or have to compete in sports with a man. This is ridiculous. These talking points are crazy from the left. The left thought that was enough, that, oh yeah, everyone's on board with this. Of course, everyone's going to come out and want transgender kids to be transgender boys to play or whatever they call them. A man who pretends to be a girl. They all want this to happen. Nobody wants it. We're tired of it. We reject it. Okay? So save your transgender and your sexual conversations for adulthood. Leave it away from the children. And the whole thing with the pronouns and all that, people were just like, what the hell have we become? And so that is another thing that I think that put the nail in the coffin for the Democrats and for Kamala Harris. And of course, Kamala Harris was a weak candidate. And this on paper, like I said yesterday, or I've been saying throughout the podcast here, on paper, this was a blowout. Kamala Harris is an unelectable person. Nobody wanted this woman to run for president. They rejected her the last time. Her party rejected her. They didn't want her. She finished bottom of the barrel. And then all of a sudden, she's the candidate. And everyone on the left is saying, yeah, this is okay for democracy. We just got handed a candidate. There was no pop-up primary to try to decide who they wanted. The people didn't want this candidate. They gave you this candidate. She was a weak candidate. She had no policy. She had no personality. I mean, she was just, as far as a political candidate, was a total lightweight and did not belong on the same stage with President Donald Trump. And this was the landslide victory that we wanted. This was the landslide victory that we deserved. The American people won last night. And you know who else won? The world won last night because these enemies of our country, both foreign and domestic, are now shaking in their boots. Believe it, we got 75 days between now and Inauguration Day, and anything is liable to happen, whether that be foreign or domestic, because these people, China invading Taiwan, something more stirring up in the Middle East, if you're going to do something, now is the time. Because once President Donald Trump gets in there, it's over. It ain't happening. And now Donald Trump, how does he handle this Ukraine-Russia? Can we finally put an end to this and stop bleeding the American taxpayer dry while they're bleeding and draining the blood of the Ukrainian people and the Russian people over this war that has no end in sight? Right? And we hope that we can resolve this conflict that's going on in the Middle East. I mean, those are all things to come. But for these next 75 days, anything is liable to happen because they know, especially here in this country, the deep state, they know the jig is up here. You got Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that's going to be coming in there, and Donald Trump He could care less. He's going to release the hounds. And the CIA, these corrupt people that are in these three-letter agencies, they're all in trouble right now, and they're all in fear because they know that Donald Trump is going to come in there and mean business right now. They raided this guy's home. They took a mugshot of him, right? They put his family through persecution. They charged him with all this BS. So you better believe retribution is coming for President Donald Trump. There's no question about that. And then I love how they're saying, like, oh, we hope Donald Trump doesn't have any kind of revenge or doesn't have any political attacks on his opponents. After everything they just did, they threw the guy in jail, right? They had indictment after indictment about this guy. They politically persecuted him, and then they're like, oh, he better not retaliate. Well, you better believe it that retaliation is coming for these people. Jack Smith, I would get a lawyer if I were you, for one. But these people are finished, and that's it. And what they put Donald Trump through, part of this is part of the story is this. Yes, we all want the economy to get better, right? We want the education to get better. We want housing prices to come down. We want interest rates that are affordable again. We want all of this stuff. But also, too, it is a vindication for Donald Trump for everything that they put that man through, everything they put his family through. It is great to see him come out on top, and he deserves to be. He took a bullet, he shed blood for us, and he asked us to fight for him, and we have done that. We did that yesterday. We went to the polls for President Donald Trump, and we put him back in office in an overwhelming majority of the vote. And the people have spoken. So that's why the importance of this popular vote, because you can't say, oh, the Electoral College is in the way. That's the only reason why Trump won. No, you are on the side of the minority now, all right? We are the majority, and we are a loud majority, and we are sick and tired of all your bullshit. We're not taking it anymore, and that's it. We're going to have a stronger economy. We're going to have a strong border. We're going to have a strong military. We're going to have peace through strength. And Donald Trump's going to get it done. This is a guy, promises made, promises kept. He's going to come in there. And now part of the fun of this is going to be seeing who he puts in his administration, which was a weak spot for Donald Trump in his first term, because you had all these people kissing his ass and wanting to be in positions of power, and they got in those positions and completely undermined him. And he is a lot more seasoned now, and he's got the experience, and it's going to be great to see who he surrounds himself with in the White House. Of course, who's going to be press secretary, who's going to be Secretary of State, the National Security Advisor. Like, we're going to have all these positions to fill, and it's going to be very interesting to see. Dan Bongino, can we put the man in charge of the FBI? I mean, that's the type of moves we need. We need bold moves like that. We need those picks right now to get in there. I would love to see Kash Patel in that administration. You'd love to see Steve Bannon back in that administration. Obviously, General Michael Flynn in that administration. You know, you're going to have places for Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, this is going to be an all-star team that Donald Trump can put together here for his administration. I'm excited to see exactly what he does. You know what else we found out, too, yesterday is that these celebrity endorsements don't mean a damn thing. They thought that by, bringing out Cardi B was going to help them. They thought that bringing Taylor Swift on board was going to be the difference maker. They thought that all these actors and athletes that were coming out and trying to toe that left-wing talking point line was going to make a difference. And it didn't. It didn't move the margins at all because, again, reality got in their way. And the American people have been suffering under this Biden-Harris administration. And they did not want 4 more years of it. And it came down to that simple question. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And the majority of the American people can say, no, I am not better off now than I was 4 years ago. Give me back Trump, baby. Get me back Trump. You know what? Maybe I don't like him. Maybe he offends me. Maybe he makes me shake in my boots when he talks. But you know what? The man delivered on his policies. We were all doing better. We had more money in our pocket. Things were more affordable. We had peace over in the Middle East. We had peace throughout the world. And there was no new wars that were started. The border was secured. We had the lowest amount of illegal immigration in this country in probably forever. And so that was enough to get people to the polls. All right, so obviously it's a decisive win for Donald Trump. Couldn't be happier for him and for us, the American people, because now it goes back to us, we the people, back in charge of the government, and that's all you can ask for. And the other thing, obviously, too, he got the Senate and got the House as well. So big Senate races. Tim Sheehy, the Navy SEAL, I had him here early on when he first announced his campaign to run, and people were kind of on the fence about him. He got the Trump endorsement. And Tim Sheehy won his Senate seat. Bernie Moreno, another one that was a huge Senate seat to win. Dave McCormick was another big Senate seat. And of course, Ted Cruz, it was highly contested. It was it looked for a little while there. It looked like it was a little trouble for Ted Cruz. Thank God he won his seat. You had the Jim Justice. And you saw the House, Anna Paulina Luna, Lauren Boebert. So a lot to celebrate yesterday. And of course, the guy that deserves so much thank you for Pennsylvania is Scott Pressler. I mean, this guy worked his tail off nonstop, registering voters. This guy, I mean, he left it all on the field. And I was honored to have a chance to speak with him in Butler, Pennsylvania, at that historical rally with President Trump. I met up with him in Madison Square Garden. But Scott Pressler, man, he delivered Pennsylvania for President Donald Trump. The Amish came out. Everybody came out because everyone's sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's what it really comes down to. And so now we get to look forward to a Trump presidency. This is a historical thing. He's only the second president in history to ever do this, where he had a term, didn't have a term, and now has a term again. So he will be the 47th president of the United States. Kamala Harris did not want to concede the election last night. She's supposedly going to speak today at 6 p.m., so we'll see how that goes. And it was just, the party is on, and the people on the left are melting down. And I think that if they stay in that bubble that they've been in, they're going to realize that they are in the minority. And all this play about sexism and misogynism and racism and all this other stuff, these talking points are dead. They're all gone because and we even heard it last night. If you were watching, some of the CNN stuff, they're still playing those cards as if that has anything to do with anything. Oh, they didn't want to vote for her because she was a woman, or it was because she was a woman of color. People are tired of hearing that rhetoric. You know who's most tired of hearing it? The Black Americans, the Hispanic Americans. They are sick and tired of hearing that nonsense, but yet they keep playing it because it's what white liberal women want to hear, and that's really their whole base is white liberal women. You even had one, it was crazy. CNN had one guy on there last night. It's like, oh, I didn't even want to vote. I was playing Xbox on the couch, but my girlfriend told me to get out there and vote or she was going to break up with me. These are the type of people that came out to support Kamala Harris. Like, you're not going to vote for your future. You're going to vote because your girlfriend said, oh, I'll break up with you if you don't go vote for Kamala. This is what we were facing. And this is why we won. And again, Donald Trump did everything to win. He ran a brilliant campaign, a historical campaign. It was a smart campaign, and it was a winning strategy because he ran on policy and he ran on his principles and on his past. He ran on what he did before, and you could compare that to what Kamala Harris has given you, or I should say, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have given you over the last 4 years. And so what do the Democrats do now? Who knows? But again, I said we have 75 days to go until the inauguration. I'll be down there with the Alec show. I'll be bringing some interviews with the people there, hopefully maybe some of the speakers. We'll see how it goes. This show is going to be fun and exciting to run moving forward. And I appreciate all of you guys continuing to tune into the show. I've been working hard here myself to bring on so many guests. This has all been leading up to yesterday. All of it has been for the purpose of winning back the American government for the people of the United States. That's what this has all been about. This has all been about putting the power back into the hands of the people, taking the power away from the government and putting it in the hands of the people. And the only way we could do that was by electing President Donald Trump to be the 47th president of the United States. And we've done that. And we did it in an overwhelming fashion. So it is a celebration today. I didn't want to spend too much time on an episode here today. I know everybody is out there celebrating, watching whoever you may be tuning into to see today. There's going to be so much more to come, but I kind of just wanted to jump on here, give you my thoughts, give you some of my reaction, and thank you for following me on Rumble, following me on X. It's been quite a ride. I've enjoyed so much of all of this stuff, and it's just the beginning. I mean, we are just getting started here on making this country great again, and think about now with Trump having the Senate and the House, how much he's going to be able to do. And this time, and he had the Senate and the House his first term when he first got in there, but we had so many freaking rhinos in there, so many people in there to undermine him that we couldn't get anything accomplished. We had to deal with the 3 years of the Russia collusion nonsense. All that goes away now. I think we finally get a chance to enjoy a Donald Trump presidency right now. And it's going to be so beneficial for us, and it's going to be beneficial for the world. And so I'm excited about it. There's going to be so much more to come. Obviously, I got no guests lined up for today or tomorrow. I'll be putting out a show tomorrow. Maybe. I got to see what's happening here. There's so much going on. I want to reach out, see who I can get, see who I can bring on to the show here. But it's just an exciting time to be alive. I'm proud to be an American today. I'm proud of my country today. I just think that, we deserve it. I mean, what we've been through in this country, we deserve it. The American people deserve it. People like Corey Compatore's family deserve it. People who have lost loved ones to these illegal immigrants that have come in here, they deserve it, right? People that are struggling right now to pay their bills, they deserve it. And so we got it, and we did it in an overwhelming fashion. It couldn't have been better the way that it worked out. Donald Trump will be the 47th president of the United States. He spoke last night to the American people, and the guy is funny as hell. And this is a guy that's working nonstop, that's been fighting nonstop for the American people. I'm looking forward to it. What was your take? Get a comment down there in the comment section below. And again, that's really all I kind of wanted to hit you guys with, was to just kind of give you my reflection on what's happening. I was up all night watching all this stuff, couldn't get enough of it, consuming as much of it as I can. I'm sure many of you people were out there as well. It's bigger than winning the Super Bowl. It's bigger than anything we could have ever thought possible, and it feels that way. The excitement is real. I think parents feel it. I think the everyday American people and the everyday worker, the working class American feels it. The union workers showed up for President Donald Trump. Your blue-collar workers, like myself, they all showed up for President Donald Trump. And, we love to see this stuff that he talks about, no tax on overtime, how huge that will be to the working American family. No tax on overtime, no tax on tips for the servers in our country. These things are huge. No income tax. Imagine this if he could get that done. So the possibilities are endless. The sky is the limit. 75 days to go until we call him President Donald Trump once again. And it's amazing. It's been a fun ride. How amazing is President Donald Trump that he is able to do all of this stuff? He's a machine, and he took down the machine, and he was going up against all of them, the deep state, the mainstream media, these Marxists, communists, these people that just wanted to destroy our country. He took them head on. He took all of their nonsense and kept moving forward, and what an inspiration this guy is. He's a legendary American figure. He will be, in the history books. They will talk about this man for centuries to come, and it's amazing to live at the same time in history as President Donald Trump and see what he is doing. I mean, this is the most historical American political figure of all time, what this guy has done. He has come in as an outsider, as a businessman. He completely upset the apple cart. He turned everybody against him. He uncovered all of these termites in our government. All these three-letter agencies came out to get him. I mean, they threw everything and the kitchen sink at Donald Trump, and they couldn't take the man down because he is standing on principles, and he is standing there to protect us, the American people, and we know it. We love him for it, and we voted for him because of it. And so that's it. Happy and proud to be an American today. Couldn't be happier that President Donald Trump won in a landslide victory, a decisive victory. Winning the popular vote was huge. We got the Senate. We got the House. Let's go. We're going to hit the ground running on January 20th. We're going to make this country great again. It just feels good again to be an American today. And we get rid of the trash that they have right now in Washington, D.C. And that was another thing. I guess a losing strategy was calling half of the American people trash. That didn't seem to work out too well, right? And calling us Nazis and white supremacists. None of it stuck. Nobody was threatened by it. Nobody believed your bullshit. So it's over with all that stuff. So you can knock it off. Not one celebrity is going to leave the country. None of that stuff is going to happen. But it will be fun to watch some of the left meltdown. You got to have some fun and enjoy it. Twitter has been a great place to be, or X, I should say. X has been a great place to be the last 12 hours here or so, because it's been on fire. The memes are incredible. Everybody, it just feels good in America right now. So that's all I have for you guys today. Just want to hit you with a 20-minute hitter on my reaction on the presidential election. Let me know how you feel. Comment down below. If you're not following me yet on Rumble here, follow me on Rumble, follow me on YouTube, follow me on X. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to have a blast in this country moving forward with President Donald Trump. We're really going to enjoy this one, and he's going to get so much more done this time around, and it's going to be great. All right, so God bless all you parents out there. God bless all you voters out there for doing the right thing, getting to the polls, and getting us back on the right direction, back in the right direction in this country again. God bless all of you veterans and our military members out there. God bless our police and first responders. God bless America, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.
You're listening to the Alec Lace Show. The future is family.